I have no thoughts about him. If I deceive you, I just— In the darkness, Kyujih's pair of apricot eyes, clear and bright— So what? Kinjenian held him, lowered his head and said, "You want me to do what? I'll do it. Let go first." Kyujih could actually break free easily, but didn't put in any effort. Kinjenian obediently let him go. Kyujih was silent for a moment. Finally, it is said, "Go to bed and sleep." Understood. Kinjenian was overjoyed. He lifted Kyujih up in his arms, put it on the bed. He jumped in as well. Kyujih never expected he would be so bold. There was a sudden complication. The next moment, I felt a speck of dust on my body. "You are a god," coldly scolded. As soon as he spoke out, but Kinjenian's lips were pressed against mine again. Kyujih opened his eyes wide, with a look of disbelief. Last night he kissed me forcefully. It was a long-awaited reunion for the two, still able to understand. Tonight he actually came again. "Do you really think I wouldn't dare to lay a hand on you?" Kyujih was about to push open Kinjenian. "This guy has already left his lips." "Bad? I don't know what's going on either. Maybe it was because of an injury. Feeling very confused. I always want to get closer to you. When my injuries heal, I will never be so rude to you again. Are you okay?" Kyujih zhang, staring at him blankly. This guy's expression is serious. Sincere tone. "It shouldn't be lying to me. Dead? He is seriously injured. It will take about a month to fully recover." That's it. This past month. Just let him be. Just this month. You. Kyujih suddenly felt this guy's hand, moved in a very improper manner. He had never been touched so deeply by anyone before. Not very adaptable. But in the end, there was still no resistance. "Close your eyes." Gently biting the lip. "Let this bad guy show off." "Wife, I am like this. Do you feel a bit better?" "Shut up. Hurry up." Yes. In the warm and peaceful bedroom, a series of sounds soon echoed. A harmonious and beautiful sound, after the 7th performance of the 300 plays. Kyujih turned his back. Kinjenian leaned in and hugged him. Kyujih struggled slightly. Then it stopped moving. Kinjenian wore a happy smile on his face. Just to feel, at this moment, everything in the world is beautiful. All are in the embrace. Previous life. He is a failure at the bottom of society. Passed away in his 40s. Not even married yet. Arriving in this immortal cultivation world. Still at the bottom. Also got infected with carbuncle. Still can only live to 40. Kinjenian felt a moment of despair. Thought this life would be. It will still end with a desolate conclusion. But in the darkest moments, met Kyujih. He knew that Kyujih had many secrets. I also know the lady is not as delicate and fragile as she appears. Just, what does it matter anyway? The lady is the only light in his life. No matter where this light comes from, he will hold on tightly, just like at this moment, tightly holding my wife's warm embrace in the suburbs. "Wife, are you feeling better? Let's continue." Kinjenian lowered his head on Kyujih's delicate earlobe, spoke softly. Kyujih's body trembled slightly. The voice was somewhat soft. You are still injured. Unacceptable. Zanyu. Good. Listen to the wife." Then I embraced my wife and fell. Kinjenian's tone seemed to be inquiring, but held on even tighter. Absolutely does not let Kyujih break free. Kyujih felt a tangle of confusion in his heart. My mind is completely blank. When he first arrived in Yunlin town, heart like dead ashes, like a zombie. If it weren't for his master telling him, reverse love, Xuanbing and Liyuo Palace, restore cultivation through dual cultivation methods, gave him the only hope. Perhaps he has already taken his own life. At that moment he made up his mind. Give up self-esteem and chastity, living solely for revenge, as long as I can quickly restore my cultivation. No matter who the dual cultivation partner is, no matter if it's good for him or not, waiting to see if he is sincere. He doesn't care at all. As a woman, I once imagined, met someone with whom I share a deep connection, double happiness, double flight, seeking the great way, but now he has long lost this ethereal fantasy. That night I walked into the marriage pavilion. His heart was filled with dead silence. That the first man she encountered was Qin Zhengyun. He saw it at a glance. This man has both ice and fire dual spiritual roots. Just perfectly fits the Xuanbing Liyuo Palace. As for the man's appearance and character, he couldn't be bothered to care. That night he pushed down Qin Zhengyun, self-destructively lost her purity. All the beautiful fantasies in my heart. All has been shattered. The will for revenge sustains my entire life. I just didn't expect it. Just half a year later, things have already exceeded expectations. This man was treated by him as a dual cultivation tool. I don't know when it started. It has already changed in his heart. Holding her in his heart, Kyuji did not feel the slightest bit of anger in his heart. More, instead, it was shyness and nervousness. How could this happen? It's all this guy's fault. At first, he seemed so honest. Who would have thought it would be so treacherous? Saying things that disturb the heart. If I regained my cultivation, how should I treat him? Wife, are you asleep? The sound of that guy's voice came from beside my ear. Kyuji closed his eyes and ignored him. He smiled. Leaning down, I kissed Kyuji's profile. Mistress, I'd also went to sleep. Kyuji, he felt dizzy, feeling angry and confused inside. In a warm embrace, I unexpectedly fell asleep. One day, wife, what do you think of payday? A family of 3 is having breakfast. Qin Zhengyun asked Kyuji. He has already detailed the duel with Changchunzi, and how Peidayu appeared later. Kyuji said without hesitation, "This person is not trustworthy." Qin Zhengyun nodded slightly. "I think so too." Liu Su was confused. Peidayu gave Changchunzi a stab. "I have to send the alchemy recipe to my son-in-law again. Where is it untrustworthy?" Qin Zhengyun said, "He had a close relationship with Changchunzi. Upon Changchunzi's death, the Chang family will be the first to doubt him. He could not distance himself from the matter. Moreover, Changchunzi found me. Most likely he is the one stirring things up. He saw me being so ruthless. When Changchunzi died, guess I won't let him go. Rather than waiting for death, why not turn to my side instead? Stabbing Changchunzi with that knife. It's like offering me a letter of loyalty. Send me the alchemy recipe. Is to bind me and him together. If the Chang family comes to investigate, naturally it will be discovered after Changchunzi's death. The biggest beneficiary is actually me. At that time, the attention of the Zhang family, nature will eventually turn to me. For him, there are 2 best scenarios. I was identified as the murderer by the Zhang family, killed by the Zhang family. He distanced himself from the matter. Maybe we can benefit from it. Continue to climb up the Chang family's leg. Secondly, I have surpassed the Zhang family. He can also gain a lot of benefits by following me. When you think about it like this, send out a small elixir recipe. Let him stand invincible. It's really a great deal. I do. Liu Su opened his mouth wide. Is this person really that sinister? Then he pointed at Qin Zhengyan. You too, son-in-law. Too many preconceived notions. This you need to be careful. I didn't even know I would be sold by him later. Qin Zhengyan forced a smile. I never had such tricks before. It's all for survival. River of Autumn. Eating with my head down. No one spoke. Today, Liu Su will still have a pre-chat with Qin Zhengyan. Qin Zhengyan went to the bathing area to take off his clothes first. Kyujik suddenly pulled Liu Su into the kitchen. Seeking the way. What is the origin of the Chang family? He is the Saintess of the Kinglian sect. On the same level as him. At least a few elders from major sects. Even the sect leader. The Zhang family's small household. He has never heard of it at all. Liu Su blinked. Saint Maiden, you've come to the right person. When I was at Yihang Building, many people have mentioned Changjia. The Zhang family is in Xinluo town. It is said that they are still the administrators of Xinluo town. It seems that an ancestor once possessed a golden elixir mirror. In front of a master, it's nothing at all. However, they bully the loose cultivators below the base level. That's enough. Autumn River Path. How many people are there in the Chang family? Liu Su widened her eyes and stared at him. Hands without a mouth. No way. Saintess, you did it for that guy. Are they really going to destroy the Zhang family? The River of Autumn does not speak. Liu Su quickly advised. Saint, please calm down. Even though the Chang family is just a third-rate small family, but their connections are extensive. If you really destroyed the Zhang family, it will definitely attract attention. Your cultivation has not yet recovered. We can't take this risk. The River of Autumn fell silent for a moment. Finally arrived. I know my limits. You should go now. Liu Su responded with a sound, walking towards the morning bath. Looking back, only the delicate figure by the River of Autumn could be seen. The killing intent is exceptionally strong. Just because someone might threaten your husband, you can ruin someone else's entire family. Everyone has murderous intent. Liu Su sighed. Saintess, oh, I should say you are decisive. Still worth mentioning. You have a love-struck mind. Su? Hu Zhai, he suddenly called out to Liu Su. Miss, what is it? Liu Su stopped in her tracks. The cold glimmer in Q's eyes flickered. Put on your clothes properly. But it. Liu Su shrank his neck. Put on another coat. Wrap yourself up tightly. Just entered the bathroom. Wait for Liu Su to enter. The eyes of the Autumn River slightly squinted. Chang family, pay down you. Shuji, Lingdon formula. Landlord, as you instructed. Fang Lai has already cleaned everything. The alchemy room has been cleaned up as well, accompanying Dao Yu at the high seat. Fan Lai, one important thing is to bow respectfully. Everyone has a look of affection on their faces. Accompanying Dao Yu at the upper seat. Lin Dan Fang thoroughly cleaned up. He will also rebuild the alchemy room he used. And cleaned out the 2 bedrooms in the backyard. The keys were busy all day, until the hour of the ugly. When the night is deep and quiet, just finished the work. Pei Dao Yu nodded slightly. You can go back now. Everyone respectfully welcomed the Yin family. Wan Peng and Zhu Lai exchanged a glance. Couldn't help but ask. Homer, is tomorrow the day to welcome the distinguished guests? This round of cleaning and repairing. The scene is quite grand. Everyone is very curious. What kind of guests does the homeowner want to welcome into the house? Accompanying Dao Yu Dao. In the coming days, The Lingdan Fang will welcome a new master. And wait for these days to be punctual. No mistakes allowed. Lingdan Fang Yizhu. Everyone looked at each other, but I didn't dare to ask too much. After bowing, they all left one after another. Pei Dao Yu stood up, walked to the window, hands behind the back, looking at the bright moon in the sky. He smile. Tomorrow. He then took the deed for the elixir formula and the night contract, delivered to Qin Zhengyan's residence. Qin Zhengyan is appointed as the new landlord. He knows. Qin Zhengyan at home. There was a wife and a sister-in-law. So they specifically ordered someone. The 2 bedrooms in the backyard of Lingdan Fang, also tidied up. Let Qin Zhengyan's 2 women. Everyone can live in there. This wave. He can be said to be full of sincerity. It seems that Qin Zhengyan is coming. Most likely won't refuse. It has been a long time since Changchunzi went missing. The Zhang family set someone to verify. He could then push Qin Zhengyan to the forefront. Zuo watches the conflict between Qin Zhengyan and the Chang family. If Qin Zhengyan were killed by the Zhang family, he claimed that he had long suspected Qin Zhengyan. Send out the elixir formula. It is also to get closer to each other to investigate the truth. This way, I can take the opportunity to seek refuge with the Zhang family. If Qin Zhengyan were behind, there is indeed powerful support. The Zhang family can't handle him either. Then one must hold onto this big leg even tighter. Maybe in the future, Yunlin town, supplying low-grade elixirs in Gongji town. Everything was under his control. Pei Daiyu's talent for cultivation is average. In my 30s now, still stuck at the 5th level of Kai training. The return of the troops is only at the 2nd level, although it can still be barely seen in Yunlin town. But put it outside. That is just an ant. He can be on the edge of Geifeng Street. Open an alchemy recipe, maintained for so many years. It's not about cultivation, but the mind. Just no one knows. At Pei Daiyu. Beneath that seemingly avant-garde exterior, but harbors considerable ambition. What he wants to do, far from being just a small alchemy workshop owner. What he wanted was to fully support Dezang, like the Zhang family, establish a large family, become a store manager. He wants to become the ancestor. Chen Chenzi, Chan family, Qin Zhengyan, they are just his springboard. One day it will happen. Pei Daiyu was feeling both melancholic and ambitious. Suddenly realized. A chill rose behind me. He quickly turned around. The eyes suddenly widened. Behind him, suddenly, there was an extra person without knowing when it happened. This is a female cultivator, tall and slender, a head of white hair, a flowing white robe, wearing a white scarf on her face. Only a pair of cold and enchanting peach blossom eyes were revealed. Seemingly charming, yet it reveals a chilling veil. Who are you? Pei Daiyu goes forward, stepped back. He when asked, silently reaching behind. I already have more than 10 talisman papers in hand. The white-haired woman strides with long legs, slowly walking towards him. That voluptuous figure, with a slight tremble in my steps. She is truly stunning and unparalleled, charming and captivating. But at this moment, Pei Daiyu's heart, but has no desire at all, because he can feel this white-haired female cultivator, that terrifying killing intent, this senior. I have never held a grudge against anyone. But what misunderstanding is there? Pei Daiyu's eyes turned. The white-haired woman bowed respectfully. With a wave of his hand, he brushed the ground. More than 10 talismans. Bai and Ko flew over to the other party. In an instant, the brilliance shone brightly. Flame, thunder and lightning, Thrust, all shot towards the white-haired female cultivator. Paydayu held two short knives in his hands, issuing green blade light. Hidden behind the talismans, these are all Paydayu, the ultimate life-saving trick. Unless the other party's cultivation, a realm slightly higher than his by 2 or 3 levels. Otherwise, it will catch you off guard. At least it should be a serious injury. However, the white-haired female cultivator raised her hand. A white mist of frost. Then it surged out from his palm. Take those talismans. And the blade light hidden behind. Everything is frozen. PSH, 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 PSH. Ice chunks fell from the sky. A series of loud noises erupted. The tremor shook Paydayu to his very core. What kind of strange technique is this? He didn't dare to hide anymore. Holding two short knives in hand, threw it into the air. These two short knives suddenly emitted a dazzling light, transforming into two streams of light, heading straight for the white-haired female cultivator. This pair of short knives is a second-grade magical artifact. This is also Paydayu's real trump card, but the white-haired female cultivator, still just a gentle wave of the hand. A cloud of frost and white mist flew out. That short knife in the air was frozen into ice. With a clang it fell to the ground. Paydayu immediately knelt down. "Senior, spare my life. Senior, spare my life." The white-haired female cultivator walked up to him. If you look up, you can see the long and well-proportioned eyebrows, slim waist, back to the majestic mountains and rivers. Take in the beautiful scenery before your eyes. But Paydayu did not dare to raise his head at all. It could only keep banging against the ground. Almost made a hole in the floor. "Who killed Changchunzi?" A soft and enchanting voice floated in. Paydayu shivered without the cold, just hesitating on how to respond. Bang! The white-haired female cultivator stepped on his hand. Paydayu let out a scream. A pill flew into his mouth. It directly enters the meridians through the throat. Rapid dissolution. This matter is Zindan. You are a Dan master. You should know its usefulness. The ethereal voice echoed once more. Paydayu felt a sudden sharp pain throughout his entire body. He couldn't control himself, rolling on the ground, screaming in agony. "I'll ask you once more. Who killed Changchunzi?" Paydayu could no longer hide. "Yes, it was Qin Zhengyan who killed. He lives in the room on the right side at the end of Jeyu Alley. He has a wife and a concubine at home. I am willing to guide my senior. Concubine." Then the voice, like that of the mysterious goddess Jiushin Chuanyu, paused. It seems to carry certain emotions. Again a foot stepped on Paydayu's other palm. Paydayu experiences excruciating pain in her meridians. The palm was also crushed. Suddenly I felt like a fish thrown onto the shore, rolling incessantly, enduring the pain. He felt wronged. I don't even know where I went wrong. Unexpectedly angered this senior to such an extent. The white-haired female cultivator asked again, "Who killed Changchunzi?" Paydayu is upright. Lift the face covered in sweat. "It seems to be enlightening." Hastily said, "The little person has been here for many days. I haven't seen Changchunzi for a long time. I wonder why the elder said he is already dead." This time, he finally wasn't stepped on anymore. The white-haired female cultivator continued to ask, "I heard there is a Dan master in Yunlin town. It seems there is a conflict with Changchunzi." Paydayu said, returned senior. "The alchemist did not know Changchunzi. I don't understand what you mean." The white-haired female cultivator looked down at him. "What is the surname of this Dan master? Where do you live?" Paydayu immediately said, The petty person truly does not know. Please forgive me, senior. He finally understood. This senior is likely the backing behind Qin Zhengyun. This is a warning to myself. Do not betray Qin Zhengyun. Pei Deyu was deep in thought. Looking up, the white-haired female cultivator has already vanished. He shouted quickly, "Senior, can you give me the antidote to Zindan?" But the surroundings were quiet. The senior has already walked far away. Pei Deyu had a bitter expression, sat down on the ground. Finished. From then on, I became someone else's puppet. What more is there to discuss about the full power of the Lai sect? He felt indignant. However, Qin Zhengyun was unremarkable in appearance. Why is it that one can possess such cultivation? A female cultivator with striking looks and figure. Be his support. Could it be that Qin Zhengyun is the senior woman? The kept concubine. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. What right does he have? One day, Jiyu Ali, Lao Su, we really need to find Kindeyu. Requesting that snack. There's no way. The owner's command. I can only comply. I hope deist Qin can understand our difficulties. Sai, let's go. Wan Ping and Zhu Lai, entering Jiyu Alley, after several inquiries, finally found it. The big house at the end of the alley, looking at the disarmed protective array, a door that can only be opened with medication. Both of them were a bit puzzled. Qin Daoliu, this is truly developed. Ask him for this snack. It shouldn't be too difficult, right? This morning, the two arrived on time at Lindenfang, but was called by the landlord. Pei Deyu said, when Qin Zhengyun left Shifeng, gave him an extra snack. So they sent two people to ask Qin Zhengyun to get it back. Wang Ping and Zhu Lai are both quite aggressive. Qin Zhengyun has been away for so long. Where is this time? Still going to ask the person to return the salary. But this is the landlord's command. The two had no way out. At this moment, we exchanged a glance. Nervously, I raised my hand and knocked on the door. After a moment, the big door opens. A familiar face of two people appeared. Wang Ping exclaimed, "Ruyi courtesan." Zhu Lai looked up and down. The woman at the door was confirmed. She is the Ruyi courtesan of the Yihanlu. Suddenly, the eyes went wide like the wish fairy. How did you end up here?" Liu Su did not know the two people, frowned and said, "Where did the lantern boy come from? I can't believe you found this place." Qin Zhengyun walked over upon hearing the sound. I saw Wang Ping and Zhu Lai smile and step forward. "Wang Deyu, Zhu Deyu, how did you all come here?" "Su Su, please hurry and let someone in." Liu Su pouted. "Step aside." Wang Ping and Zhu Lai repeatedly cupped their hands towards him. "Thank you, Fairy Rui." Liu Su glared at the two. "I haven't been at Yihan Lu for a long time. Do not call me Rui anymore." "Yes, yes." The two of them nodded repeatedly. He rushed into the room, trembling and terrified. "Look around." With envy, she spoke. "Senior Qin, when did you move into such a spacious and upscale house? Truly enviable. Qin Zhengyun hasn't spoken yet." Qiuzhi walked out of the kitchen. He wore a robe adorned with 100 flowers. Wearing an apron outside, the long hair is styled into a woman's bun. On the rounded, upturned face, carrying the crimson hue from the steam in the kitchen, gentle and virtuous, beautiful and charming, Wang Ping and Zhu Lai stared in astonishment. Such a beautiful and virtuous wife. It really makes singles envy. "Wife, this is Wang Ping. This is Zhu Lai. They are all. I used to be a colleague at Lindan Fang. You met at Uncle Fang's house last time." Qin Zhenyan introduced the two to Qiu Zhe. Qiu Zhai he nodded at them, consider it a greeting, then walked into the kitchen. Wan Ping and Zhu Lai, looking at his graceful and well-proportioned silhouette. The gaze became vacant. Wang Deu, Zhu Deu, please take a seat. Qin Zhenyan spoke up. The two finally came back to their senses. Thank you, Senior Qin. Just sat down. At that moment, Liu Su also brought over 2 cups of tea. Recently, guests often visit Qin Zhenyan's home. He was also trained. Whenever guests arrive, I naturally go to brew tea. Thank you, fellow cultivator. Wang Ping and Zhu Lai quickly got up to receive the fruit. My heart was even more astonished. Qin Zhenyan's wife, such beauty needs no words. Even the fairy of good fortune also became his woman. Moreover, look at the appearance of Rui Fairy at Qin Zhenyan's home. The status should not be high. Mostly a concubine. I remember the last time when old Feng mentioned Qin Zhenyan's home. Not only does he have a beautiful wife, there is also a similarly charming concubine. I just didn't expect it. This concubine was once famous for her beauty, the far-reaching Rui courtesan. It is because of the Rui fairy, once a woman of allure. So I can only be a concubine. Both of them had their own guesses in mind. Qin Zhenyan has already asked, Wan Deu, Su Deu, I wonder what brings you to my humble abode today. Wan Ping and Zhu Lai exchanged a glance. It's a bit difficult for everyone. In the end, it was Wang Ping who explained the purpose of their visit. Then he awkwardly said, Senior Qin, we are also here on the landlord's orders. There's really no way out. Don't blame us. Unexpectedly, Qin Zhenyan was not angry at all. Instead, they burst into laughter. He quickly took out a snack to give to the two of them. How could I blame you? When I left Lingdon workshop, it was the reward given to me by Yang Fengshen. It must be that his accounts are in disarray. So they gave me an extra snack. Return today. It goes without saying. The two exchanged a glance, both a bit dazed. It's not a good time to ask too many questions. The snacks thanked one after another. At this moment, Qiu walked out of the kitchen. Qin Zhenyan asked, Are they staying for dinner? The two quickly got up. Sister-in-law, no need to be so polite. We still have things to do. Let's go. Qin Zhenyan made a heartfelt plea to stay. The two kept making excuses. He fled the Qin family in a hurry. Walking out of the alley, the two walked in silence, heads down. Wang Ping suddenly said, Zhu Deu, I want to train properly. Zhu Lai nodded. I also want to cultivate properly, like deist Qin, become a great master, acquiring a beautiful wife and concubine. Isn't it delightful? I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Let's work hard together. Okay, keep going. Jiuali, Qin family. Wes, Pu Yan. What does payday mean? They actually sent someone to collect the debt. Liu Su said angrily. Yet the river goddess of autumn appeared calm. Qin Zhenyan smiled. He immediately became anxious. You two talk. Qin Zhenyan smiled and said, Paydayu is expressing her stance. Will you help me conceal the matter of Changchunzi? Liu Su blinked his eyes. Still looking puzzled, Qin Zhenyan saw his silly and adorable expression. Couldn't help but laugh. Liu Su glared at him with an angry pout, complaining to the river of autumn. Mes, the son-in-law has been laughing at me. Qiu Zhai, he finally spoke. If the Zhang family investigates Chang Chunzi's whereabouts, we'll definitely find Paydayu. He became increasingly indifferent towards his husband. The husband's suspicion becomes smaller. Liu Su was stunned for a moment. A slap on the thigh. I understand. So payday you deliberately found someone to make things difficult for the son-in-law. It's just to let others know. He and the son-in-law only have a relationship of employer and key holder. This way, the family won't suspect the son-in-law. I do. There are too many twists and turns with this person. So troublesome. After speaking, he was stunned by the enemy's reaction, staring blankly at Kyaji River. Miss, what did you just call the son-in-law? Autumn River is just right. Yet King Genyan was also looking at her with a face full of surprise. He finally realized it. I just unconsciously shouted that out loud. Shameful titles. He felt a tremor in his heart, lowering the eyelids. Get up and walk into the kitchen. No longer speaking, Liu Su excitedly said to Qin Zhenyan, son-in-law, son-in-law, did the young lady just call you husband? He has never called you that before. Qin Zhenyan was also very excited, nodding repeatedly. Yeah, this is the first time my wife has called me husband. Okay, great. Liu Su laughed heartily. Son-in-law, aren't you feeling accomplished? Good luck tonight. Let the young lady call out a few more times. Susu, come in and help. Here they come. Miss, why is your face so red? Ouch. Miss, why did you hit me? Miss, I was wrong. I won't dare again. Henan Mountain. At the foot of the mountain, in front of the entrance of Jinyang's sect. Countless disciples in white robes, coming and going. These are all outer disciples who have just begun their training. Most of them can only cultivate at the foot of the mountain, only after passing through layers of selection. Only then will they be qualified to enter the 6 major peaks. The faces of these outer disciples were all marked with tin. The gaze is clear, full of vitality. Occasionally, inner disciples wearing purple silk robes passed by. They all gasped in surprise. Eyes filled with longing. Under the mountain gate, a figure in white floats gracefully. People come and go. Looking upward, 6 peaks tower into the clouds. Imposing grandeur. Such a scene. The wise uncle and disciple of the 3rd major sect of the Eastern Reforms. In front of the bustling mountain gate, a figure covered in blood appeared. He wore a white robe representing the outer sect disciples. Hair disheveled, a smear of blood on his face, covered in scars. What is most shocking is left shoulder, right chest and lower abdomen. There are actually 3 blood holes. Fresh blood gushed out from within. Shocking and eye-catching. In front of the mountain gate of the immortal family sect. Never has such a scene appeared. A female disciple suddenly exclaimed in surprise. Someone stepped forward to support the injured person. It was clear that she was a female cultivator, face like golden paper. Her eyes were half open and half closed. It's clearly relying on sheer willpower. I could only hold on until here. This junior sister, what happened? How did you get such a serious injury? Junior sister, what is your name? The woman covered in blood, supported by the crowd, struggling to open my eyes. Hoarse voice. My name is Thank Xuan, disciple of Ziyu Peak, senior brother Luo and all the fellow disciples. They all died. 1 hour later, Ziyu Peak, a poverty-stricken tower seen through a gust of wind. The pavilions and gardens have withered in the cave, like a fairyland, just at this moment immersed in a fairyland. Numerous inner disciples, but wore a worried expression. Discussion abounds. Brother Luo has been harmed by someone. So many junior disciples. Only 1 person managed to escape back. Who could be so ruthless? This grudge will not be avenged. I feel ashamed to be a disciple of Jinyang's sect. Everyone, please do not be agitated. Let's first find out who the murderer is. SHH. The elder sister is here. A figure wearing a moon-white flowing fairy dress. A pure white figure approaches. Her features are delicate. Her long hair cascaded like a waterfall. The whole body feels like shrouded in delicate dance. Dare not to look directly. Everyone bowed in greeting. Senior sister. Iziu nodded slightly. Someone stepped forward to report. Senior sister. Fang Shaimai is seriously injured. Not yet awake. Iziu waved her hand. You all can go down now. Everyone looked at each other in confusion, but didn't dare to ask more. After the bowing, they all dispersed. Iziu walked into a room. This is the room of the inner disciples. It can't be considered spacious, just a quiet elegance. Inside, there are birds and fragrant cigarettes. A person is lying on the bed, the woman with a pale complexion. The blood on the face has been washed away, multiple wounds on the body. All has been processed, but her injuries are too severe. By the bedside, looking down at Fang Zhu, Zumei is slightly jealous. Not sure what I'm thinking about. Liang Jiu. Fang Zhu coughed a few times. Finally opened my eyes. I saw Yi Ziyu standing in front of me. She struggled to get up. Senior sister. Yi Ziyu gently pressed her back down. The voice was ethereal and distant. Whom did you encounter? Fang Zhu weakly said. I don't know either. The few people were dressed in black. Masked? I can't see their faces clearly. Yi Ziyu asked. How many people are there? Fang Zhu said. 3 people. 3 people. Yi Ziyu fell silent for a moment. Again asked, what technique are they using? How to deal with Master Luo's disciple. They were killed. Inquire about the tragic death of my fellow disciple. Yi Ziyu's tone remained calm, not a ripple of disturbance. Fang Zumei felt a chill arise from her heart. But I spoke according to the answer I had in my heart all along. They each used poison. A person used fire. A short knife for one person. We are not even close to being rivals. Brother Luo, he. Fang Zhu showed a hesitant expression on her face. Yi Ziyu asked calmly, Luo Zhenfeng wants to leave you all behind and escape, but was unable to escape. Is that so? Fang Zhu stared at him in shock. Senior sister, how do you know? Yi Ziyu said blandly. Luo Shidi has a weak disposition. It's not surprising to back out at the last minute. Senior sister Fang Zhu was looking at him intently. I really want to ask, since we know Luo Zhenfeng's character, why do we still need to let him lead so many, the inner disciples of the Chachu Maolu, to pursue the traces of the remnants of the magic gate? Looking at senior sister's calm demeanor, Fang Zhu's heart grew colder. Yet it increasingly feels. My decision that night was the right one. Fang Zhu is observing Yi Ziyu. Yi Ziyu was also observing Fang Zhu. The two gazed quietly at each other for a moment. Yi Ziyu asked, Where were you attacked? Fang Zhu replied, Brother Luo received the instructions from senior sister. Let's return to Jinyangzong from Wuxi town. We set off that evening. After leaving Wuzai town for more than 10 miles, encountered those 3 people in a forest. Yi Ziyu fell silent for a moment, again asking, What did you find in Yunlin town? Fang Zhu said, Senior brother Luo took us to that place. Outside the residence of Dan she named Qinzhenyang, hiding for several days. There are no findings at all. This answer is in line with Luo Zhenfeng's previous statements. In the transmission symbol, reporting to Yi Ziyu, Basically consistent. Iziu asked a few more questions. The actions and skills of the three criminals. Fang Zhu answered one by one. In specific matters, one must elaborate. Lack of self-cultivation and insight. It's hard to tell. The powers and techniques used by the three individuals. After a stick of incense. Iziu bat a. Fang Shai Mai. You can rest assured and take care of yourself. After speaking, he stood still and walked out of the room. Beyond this pavilion and tower, a figure flickered from the mountainside of Ziyu Peak, reached the summit. Iziu stood at the edge of the cliff, took off the shoes and sat down. A pair of delicate white feet stretched out over the cliff, swaying back and forth, like an innocent and carefree girl. His face was expressionless, like a hollow arch bridge. A moment later, her expression changed instantly. Show a cute yet eerie smile. It seems like I'm talking to myself. Your junior sister is lying. Brother, I just break her limbs. Look at her not being able to tell the truth. The smile vanished in the next moment. The indifferent fairy replied. I looked at Feng Shaimai's wound. There were several near-fatal incidents. Her cultivation is low. If it is the treachery of the demon gate, can't reach this level. Brother, Iziu's face. Once again, a strange yet adorable smile appeared. Those people must be remnants of the demonic sect. Find them. Maybe we can find Zaya Kinglian. Iziru, aren't you interested in learning about the Xuanbing Liyuo Palace? Let's go. Now let's go to Wuxi Town. Find those few people. From now on, we can completely separate. The sect competition is about to begin. I can't leave. Moreover, Iziu transformed back into her celestial form. Gently poor. We are not going to Wuxi Town, but rather Yuling Town. Oh, I can't hide it from you after all. So what do you plan to do? The devil's laughter is sharp. Echoes on the cliff. Iziu said. I plan to send Minglin. See Minglin. Okay. Her charm is just right for dealing with men. However, aren't you afraid of that little flirt? See Minglin. Sucked the life out of someone. You lost the clue. Shut up. Iziu stood up tall. Put on your shoes. A figure flashed by, arrived at the room of the senior sister below the peak. Changed to serve the disciples. Call Sister Si Minglan here, to consume the heart pill. You will obey me for a lifetime. Still stabbing 3 knives into oneself. Change a life. Choose. In the black woods where even moonlight cannot penetrate. Surrounded by more than 10 blazing flames. In that crimson flame, it was the senior brothers and sisters who had long since turned to ashes. Fang Zhu looked up. In front of me is a face covered by a red veil. This face is covered, but still allows one to feel that breathtaking beauty, especially those eyes. Peach blossom shape, it should be full of charm, yet it is cold and indifferent. There is a mesmerizing power that pierces the heart. Facing the questions of the owner of these eyes, Fang Zhu's face was streaming with tears. Staring at her blankly. My word, I don't want to die. I want to become stronger. The next moment, she grabbed the short knife, slammed into his own shoulder. Pull out. Blood spurted out. Fang Zhu did not stop at all. Another cut. Stabbed into his own chest. Pull out. Stabbed into the lower abdomen again. The red-haired enchantress puts away the heart pill, silently turning away, preparing to leave. Wait a moment. Fang Zhu shouted hoarsely. The red-haired demon turned around. Fang Zhu felt overwhelmed with bloodlust, crawled to her in front. He knocked his head 3 times heavily. Senior, please accept me as your disciple. The red-haired demoness strikes fear. It seems a bit unexpected. I killed your fellow disciple, yet you want to take me as your master. Fang Zhu's forehead touched the ground. Senior, they died. It's because their cultivation level is too low. I don't want a day to come. Just like them, HMPH. The red-haired woman smiled, crouched down. He reached out and lifted Fang Zhu's chin, looking at her bloodied face. Do you know who I am? You are one of the Magic Gate people. Fang Zhu answered without hesitation. The red-haired woman smiled again. Her voice was ethereal and clear, like an orchid in a secluded valley. If it weren't for the surroundings, there are still more than 10 piles of ashes that were once human bodies. It makes people believe. She is the fairy descended from the Moon Palace. I already know I am a member of the Demon Gate. Do you still want to take me as your master? Aren't you afraid that the people from Yang sect will kill you? Do not fear that practitioners from around the world will kill you. Fang Zhu's face was stained with blood, still covered in dirt. But it seemed to be flashing with light. If it weren't for your help just now, senior, I have already been killed by the people of Yang sect. The red-haired woman chuckled. Your temperament. Unexpectedly, I entered the Yang sect. Fang Zhu clutched her chest. Blood slowly flowed from the gaps between the fingers. The tone, however, grew increasingly firm. Senior, I want to seek the Great Way within a century. Let my parents lie forever with me. The techniques of the Yang sect are not that quick to master. If you can help me, I am willing to consume that which is the star Dan. In this life, I serve as a slave and a servant. That day at Uncle Qin's house. Sister Q's words to him. A seed was planted in his heart. At that moment, Fang Zhu was thinking, as long as it helps him become stronger quickly, glimpse of the heavenly Tao, change the heavenly path, let parents lie forever, no matter which school or style of martial arts. He didn't care about who he was back then. All that can be seen is the martial arts of Yang sect. Naturally feel, striving to cultivate on Jinyang Mountain. This is the entirety of this life. And now, he witnessed the complete casting of the chicken, Liu Zhenfeng, in front of the red-haired female cultivator who has only reached the 7th layer, not even able to fight back. Which martial arts technique is stronger or weaker? It is self-evident. At least, there's the speed of mastering the magical gate technique. The techniques of Bai Town's Yangzong are several times stronger. My parents are old and weak. He no longer has time to wait. He also doesn't want to spend decades in. It took a lot of effort to raise the chicken, but was defeated by an opponent whose skills were much lower than his own. Easily kill. If that's the case, it's better to change one's circumstances sooner rather than later. As long as I can become stronger quickly. Which sect to join? None of it matters. Such a disposition. Indeed, you should join my Kinglian sect. Hearing the words of the red-haired woman, Fang Zhu's eyes were sharp, ready to confront the enemy. Senior, you are indeed from the Kinglian sect. The red-haired woman stands up. The voice was indifferent. If you wish to take me as your master, just about to enter the Kinglian gate. Since then, everyone in the world is your enemy. If someone were to discover your identity, you will die without a burial place. Have you thought it through? Fang Zhu kowtowed again. Master, please grant your blessings. Disciple Fang Zhu wishes to join the Kinglian sect. No regrets, even at the cost of 1,000 deaths. The red-haired woman threw out a black gold stone. This is Tang Lion of the Kinglian sect. You cultivate yourself. If I could reach the 1st floor, I will teach you. Master, Fang Zhu shivered. This place is a land of cultivation. Take that black gold stone. In my embrace. Tang Lion Jew of Kinglian Gate, renowned for its fame. She naturally has heard of it. The senior sister Chanong Tang from the Kinglian sect. It is indeed the Tang Lion Jew that is being practiced. This woman possesses extraordinary skills. Elders of the three great sects, solo fight, no one is her match. It's still the three elders of the Lei Jian sect. Set a trap to ambush her. Just killed her. Just like that. The three elders of the Lei Jian sect. All were severely injured. Such a peerless skill. If I can master it. Fang Zhu's whole body was shaking. A dozen more sound transmission talismans appeared before me. But then the red-haired woman said, "You should first return to Jinyangzong, inquiring for news. If they make any unusual moves, inform me immediately." Fang Zhu opened her eyes. My forehead is covered in cold sweat. She struggled to sit up from the bed. Slowly extend your palm. A black spirit crystal emerged from the palm. That day, Master Will's store, after handing over the spirit crystal of Tang Lion Jew to her, she discovered this spirit crystal can actually penetrate her body. This way, there is no fear of being discovered. At that moment, there was a noise outside the door. The black spirit crystal immediately burrowed into Fang Zhu's palm. A male monk was about to enter. She sat up, hastily stepped forward. "China, you are seriously injured. Quickly lie down and rest." Fang Zhu held her hand, eyes reddening. "Shiksha, I want to give it to Luo Shiksha. They seek revenge. Will the senior sister take action herself?" The male cultivator gazed at Fang Zhu's pale and delicate face. A glimmer of lionxy flashed in his eyes. Spoke softly. "Fang Shaimai, you should rest assured and recuperate. Senior sister just hauled senior sister Si Minglin. After you heal, you and senior sister Si Minglin set out to investigate the murderer. Senior sister Si Minglin." Fang Zhui is just. Whispered, "But that practitioner of charm magic." The male disciple showed an embarrassed expression. He nodded and said, "That's him. Fang Shaimai. Don't worry. Shiminglin's cultivation ranks in the top 5 of Ziwifeng, and her charm is extraordinary. We will definitely find those 3 murderers." Finished speaking. Her expression became even more awkward. Remind Fang Zhu to rest well. Hurriedly left. Clearly, this senior sister Si Minglin's charm. There are many inconvenient details to explain, but that male disciple went out. Fang Zhu's gentle smile vanished. After a moment of silence, she took out a communication talisman. Finger painting holes, wrote a line of text. Si Minglin is skilled in the art of charm. Yunlin Town, Jiyu Alley, in the kitchen. Qiu Zhai, he is cutting meat in a rhythmic manner. She suddenly stopped her movements, put down the kitchen knife, took out a sound transmission talisman from his pocket, took a glance. A cold smile appeared on his face. Frame, frame, frame. The deafening sound of chopping meat echoed through the kitchen again. Charm magic. 40 days later. Cultivation. Refining Kai to the 7th layer. 1. 4,000. Spill. 3rd rank alchemist. 5. 1,000. Spiritual root. Fire element. Middle grade spiritual root. 751. 1,000. Ice attribute medium quality spiritual root. 763. 1,000. Midnight. Qin Zhengyan sat cross-legged in the outer room. "Open your eyes." A flash of golden light passed over him. Illusory words appeared before me. Reached the 7th layer of Kai refinement. These 40 days, She followed the plan. Absorbed 6 pieces of spiritual essence daily. Practiced cultivation with my wife 7 times at night. All cultivation points have been added to the cultivation level. Finally reached the 7th level of Kai refinement. The bedroom door opens. A delicate and petite figure appeared. Slightly said, "Still not sleeping?" Qin Zhengyan stood up, walked up to the lady's front, skillfully reached out, embracing that soft waist. "Wife, I have reached the 7th level of Kai refinement." Kyujin's body trembled slightly, but could not evade her hand. Over the past month, such intimate gestures between the two are countless, even if she still feels a bit out of place in her heart. But the body had long since gotten used to it. The river of autumn does not look at her face, responded lightly, turned and walked into the bedroom. Wife, King Zhengyan said, "The master has not appeared for many days. I am a bit worried. I want to go see Yunlin Mountain." Qiu Zhai, he looked back at her. A moment of silence. Jingdai entered the bedroom, got into bed and covered up with the blanket. Qin Zhengyan saw that she agreed, hastily said, "Dear, you should rest. I'll go take a look and be right back." "I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that." A response came from the bed. Qin Zhengyan immediately went out. Rushing to Keoyan Forest Mountain, just reached the 7th layer of Kai refinement. Abundant spiritual energy within the body. The running speed has increased quite a bit compared to before. Qin Zhengyan's figure transformed into a streak of light. Even if someone passes by at this moment, what is seen in the eye is just a fleeting moment. Those with lower cultivation, not a single shadow in sight. Previously, I rushed from Jeyu Alley to Yunlin Mountain. No matter what, we must get closer to a stick of incense. But now Qin Zhengyan has only used half a stick of incense. We arrived at Zuyuelan on Yunlin Mountain. This is where Yang Fengshen and Cheng Chunzi buy stocks. It is also the secret garden where Qin Zhengyan practices with his master. This past month, Qin Zhengyan every other day. It's time to visit Yunlin Mountain. I want to see if the master left him any messages. But every time I return at 15. Today is the same. In the snowy moonlit forest, there was a profound silence. After going around in circles, I still didn't find anything. Did the master leave him any information? Qin Zhengyan sighed, turning around, ready to leave. Suddenly, a tall figure appeared before me. The plump red figure. He showed surprise on his face. 2 steps forward, kneeling on one knee. "Master, you have finally returned." "Great." He looked excited. Joy is evident in their eyes. Zaya Kinglian lifted her head. "Don't look at his face." The voice lingers in the air, filled with indifference. "Is there any technique that can be overlooked?" I practice diligently every day. Absolutely no slacking off. "Master, please feel free to test me." Zaya Kinglian strikes first against the enemy. Qin Zhengyan was already prepared. Raise hand to block. Counterattack immediately. "I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that." In the snowy moonlit forest, the familiar sound of intense collisions echoed again, after a stick of incense. Qin Zhengyan was panting heavily, covered in minor scars. Zaya Kinglian stood with her hands behind her back, calm and composed. "It's okay." Did not slack off. Qin Zhengyan respectfully clasped his hands. "Master, the disciple has something to say." Zaya Kinglian said coldly. "Speak." Qin Zhengyan said seriously. "Master, next Tanyu, if you want to travel far, can you tell the disciple where to go? When will you return? If overdue and not returned, the disciple is also eager to seek you." Zaya Kinglian trembled. The voice became colder. You want to restrain me, the teacher. This sentence flows easily from the teacher's mouth. He was momentarily taken aback, felt an inexplicable sense of shame. Yet I heard Qin Jing say, "Master, please calm your anger. The disciple dares not show any disrespect. It's just that this time, Master has been gone for a long while. The disciple is always worried in his heart. If the Master encounters danger elsewhere, the disciple will surely assist." Zaya Kinglian sneered. "You help me." Qin Zhengyan clasped his hands and said, "The disciple's cultivation level is low, but also understands the importance of respecting teachers and the way. If the master has an order, the disciple is completely devoted to the master." This speech was delivered with great fervor, but to Zaya Kinglian, but it feels somewhat strange. Over the past month, due to Qin Zhengyan's injury, Qiuzhe was practicing at home. She is quite accommodating to him. Excessive demands. All were satisfied with him. It was all about him from head to toe. Already quite familiar. Now this guy has lost his dragon and mouse. Received a wife. Not even the master is spared. Qiuzhe ho! Qiuzhe, look at the good things you've done. Come and teach this audacious rebel a lesson." Zaya Kinglian said coldly, "Bold, the matters of the master. When did it become your turn to ask?" Qin Zhengyan quickly knelt down. "Master, please calm down. The disciple only wishes to relieve the master's worries." "I mean no disrespect." Zaya Kinglian snorted. "Qiuzhai, take a look for yourself. How I trained this guy. You are always soft-hearted, deceived by him everywhere. Once a bottom line is crossed, it keeps breaking. Look at me. Learn from this." He felt inexplicably pleased in his heart. "Raise your hand and speak." "Get up." Qin Zhengyan stood up. Zaya Kinglian said, "The physical training is unmatched in strength, practicing to the extreme. One strength breaks all methods. The sword and the blade are absolutely useless to you. But there are still two things. Can restrain body cultivation." Qin Zhengyan knew. The master is going to teach him something new. Excitement in my heart. Quickly lowered his head to receive instruction. "Please teach me, master." Zaya Kinglian said softly, "Poison and charm techniques, poison arts, charm magic." Qin Zhengyan had always fantasized about becoming a sword cultivator. "I don't know much about body cultivation. It's the first time I've heard of it." These two types of restraint techniques for body cultivation. Zaya Kinglian didn't say much either. With a flick of her hand, a mist carrying the scent of blood, rushing towards Qin Zhengyan. What is this?" Qin Zhengyan was caught off guard. It was too late when I raised my hand without speaking. A wave of dizziness hit my head. The body feels weak. Suddenly fell to the ground. Footsteps sound. A pair of delicate embroidered shoes appeared before me. The pointed edge is tightly woven with white socks. Above are slender ankles. Further up are those long and well-proportioned jade legs. The voice of my master echoed in my ears. Soft blood mist, the most commonly used poison in toxic cultivation, can make people short-term, soft and powerless. The body feels soft and limp. Dizzy and disoriented, Qin Zhengyan saw before him. The long, firm jade-like legs crouched down. The majestic mountains flashed by. A beautiful face appeared before me, illuminated by the red veil. This captivating face is very close, breathing like rippling waves. Such a low-level poison. Then you will be left weak on the ground, at the mercy of others. Qin Zhengyan opened his mouth with difficulty. "Yes, master. What should I do?" Zaya Kinglian reached into her bosom. The curve of the wind is deformed by the pressure of the arm. Qin Zhengyan quickly averted his gaze, unable to look directly. A moment later, a black spirit dragon bow appeared in my hand. Increase physical strength, once perfected, immune to all poisons. Master's gaze pierced through the slippage of fingers, slipped through Qin Zhengyan's palm. The voice continued to echo in his ears. Qin Zhengyan's heart trembled slightly. I can't shake the feeling that master seems a bit strange today. He respectfully presented the black spirit. Thank you, master. I will settle in the Qin family's cultivation. Xia Kinglian waved her hand. A wisp of green smoke entered his nose. The toxicity of the soft blood mist was soon resolved. Qin Zhengyan stood up, respectfully stated, Master, the dragon spirit bow can resist poison. What is the meaning of that charm? Xia Kinglian looked at him, suddenly asked, Can you understand? What is charm magic? Qin Zhengyan shook his head. Enchantment has no cure, only through personal experience. Exercising the mind, Fang Qi Dai Yu. Qin Zhengyan was puzzled. So how can I experience it personally? As soon as the words fell, his eyes widened in disbelief. Only the unparalleled and coldly beautiful master appears. She raised her hand and untied the belt of her clothes. The next moment, the red dress, already fallen to the ground. Yes, master. Qin Zhengyan opened his eyes wide, staring incredulously at the scene before me. The master took off that red robe. Inside, she was also wearing a white one, the thin skirt of golden feather yarn, golden color, until half an inch above the chest. The entire fragrant shoulder is exposed. The lower half is a pair of smoky cloud butterfly shorts. The legs of the pants reach above the knees, revealing delicate and tender calves, and a large expanse of firm and well-proportioned thigh skin. Even in the forest shrouded in darkness, the soft skin of my master, as delicate as white jade, as bright as the full moon in the sky. Just why does the master have to do this? Qin Zhengyan's mind was blank. But then I saw the master raise his hand and take down the jade hairpin at her hairline. That was what he gave to his master. In an instant, red hair cascaded like a waterfall, scattered over the soft waist. Floating with the wind, the master gently shook his head, smooth out the still somewhat tangled long hair. That naturally swaying figure, swaying with enchanting movements. The mountains shook and the earth trembled. Qin Zhengyan wanted to look away, but I heard the voice of my master become charming. Are you looking at me? Qin Zhengyan felt his body was out of control. In my mind, I know this is against reason. But the eyes were fixed firmly on what lay ahead. This enchanting and alluring body, the slow footsteps of the master, the charm of glamour, that fair and long eyebrow leg. It seems to have stepped into Qin Zhengyan's heart. The next moment, the white jade statue, unencumbered by fabric, was lifted, resting on his shoulder. Yes, Qin Zhengyan was about to speak. A glimmer flickered in the master's eyes. He immediately lost his senses. Standing there in a daze, gaze, Xia Kinglian let out a sigh of relief. Shu shu zhao. The clothes that fell to the ground flew up, reworn in his body. Cover the enchanting scenery of that beautiful woman. There are many techniques in the Kinglian sect. Among them is a form of charm magic. Xia Kinglian had not specifically studied. I only glanced at it when I had nothing to do. Then I learned. But this charm she had never used before. If it weren't for Fang Zhu's message yesterday, Izu wants to send a disciple skilled in enchantment, come to investigate. She would never use charm techniques on Qin Zhengyan. After all, she is this guy's master. The master used charm techniques on the disciple. It's really embarrassing. But Zaya Kinglian also found a reason for herself, rather than letting this guy, the female disciple of Jinyang's sect, enchanting with magic, dragged out to your own secret box. It would be better if she used charm on Qin Zhengyan in advance. Help her boost her immunity, to avoid being enchanted by other women in the future. Anyway, the River of Autumn has already become like that with her. Zaya Kinglian was just showing it to her. It's nothing much, right? This is also called "Don't let the good fortune go to outsiders." Zaya Kinglian shook her head. Drive away the chaotic thoughts in your mind. Continue with a voice full of charm. To Qin Zhengyan he said, "Now I ask, you answer. Do you understand?" "Yes." Qin Zhengyan nodded at the designated spot. Clearly they have fallen into the trap. HMPH. What else can be said in her eyes? Only a wife is the true role in the world. Take a look. Still being captivated by other women. Zaya Kinglian felt a strange bitterness rise in her heart. I don't know whose jealousy this is. She asked angrily, "My sister is asking you. Are you truly sincere with your wife?" Qin Zhengyan is now completely entranced by the charm spell, the problem of the lost numbers. She would answer with utmost honesty. Speak up immediately. "I really, my beloved wife." Zaya Kinglian remained silent for a moment. Again asking, "How sincere is it?" Qin Zhengyan said, "I want to be with my beloved for 100 lifetimes. I am willing to do anything for you, my lady. Madam is happy. I am very happy. If anyone harms the lady, I will kill him." Zaya Kinglian was stunned. The cold gaze softened. "You're really a fool. This is not a problem." Qin Zhengyan, standing there like a fool, silent and unspoken. Zaya Kinglian's eyes shimmered. He asked again, Do you like Susu?" "Like." Qin Zhengyan immediately replied. Zaya Kinglian's already gentle eyes suddenly covered in frost. But then Qin Zheng continued to say, "Susu has a lively personality, innocently cute. I like her as if she were my sister. Younger sister." Zaya Kinglian is upright. The clenched fist finally relaxed. He asked again, "Do you like Mo Xiaolan?" Qin Zhengyan replied, "I share common goals with Mo Xiaolan. She was there during the darkest moment of my life. Pulled me out. I am grateful to her in my heart. Now she has gone far away from me. No news. I feel guilty inside. I want to find her, repay her." Zaya Kinglian gritted her silver teeth tightly. He asked coldly, "So do you like her or not?" Qin Zhengyan said, "I don't know. I just want to love my wife. I don't know." Zaya Kinglian felt angry in her heart. But then her next sentence, "I just want to love my wife and tug at the heartstrings." It seems like they are not so angry anymore. She knew Mo Xiaolan first. The two support each other. Friendship even surpasses some. The reason for dual cultivation, she can also understand the feelings in her heart for Mo Xiaolan. Not right. Zaya Kinglian, why are you helping the fickle man find excuses? She raised her hand and slapped Qin Zhengyan on the chest. He was forced to retreat repeatedly, coughing incessantly. Zaya Kinglian immediately regretted it. She fell under the spell, unable to muster spiritual defense. "Why did you strike so hard?" Biting my lip. Mixed feelings. Zaya Kinglian sulked for a long time by herself. It seems like they remembered something. Asked again, "Then do you like your master?" Ask this question. Zaya Kinglian's breath became rapid. My mind was in turmoil, staring intently at Qin Zhengyan. I don't know either. She hoped to hear some answer from her lips. Qin Zhengyan did not this time respond immediately. It seems this problem, the answer deep within her heart. It is quite complicated. A moment later, she finally answered, I cannot like my master. Cannot like. Zaya Kinglian was stunned again. A pair of cold, beautiful eyes stared at this guy, eyes filled with confusion. What kind of answer is this? The meaning of not being able to like is, she wants to be liked, but due to the master-disciple relationship. So I don't dare to like. She really does respect her teachers and values their teachings. Deep down, I never had such thoughts. Zaya Kinglian wanted to ask again. Qin Zhengyan's expression was one of struggle. The scattered gaze gradually focused, finally turned away from the enchantment. She looked puzzled. Master, what just happened to me? Zaya Kinglian said coldly. You were just enchanted. Qin Zhengyan realized suddenly. This magic is truly powerful. Unknowingly, one falls into the trap. Master, you actually know enchanting arts. But she stopped mid-sentence, because she suddenly remembered. Just now, the master actually took off his clothes right in front of me. Still so charming and enchanting. This, she lowered her head, dare not instruct the master again. Zaya Kinglian said, From today onwards, you come every night. To resist the charm, one can only practice through personal experience. How to practice as a teacher. Master, Qin Zhengyan's words were not finished yet. But then Master Zunjing loosened his belt again. The red dress falls to the ground. That vast expanse of whiteness, once again revealed before her. Master, no. In the snowy moonlit forest, tonight, there are no more intense crashing sounds. Only strange sounds continuously emitted by men. One day, Qin Zhengyan rubbed his eyes and walked out of the bedroom. Liu Su greeted with a yawn. Son-in-law, why did you wake up so late today? Pikayan. Every day at the hour of the rabbit, Liu Su. I was forced out of bed by Kieri, he to practice. It's really tough. Lying on the table, I don't even want to move. Qin Zhengyan was summoned by the master last night. Enchanted all night long. My mind is all muddled right now. Last night, he couldn't resist the charm even once. Each time, it strengthened my resolve. Thinking, this time I won't fall for it again. But when the master took off that red robe, when the beautiful scenery inside is revealed, he was completely blank-minded. Suddenly, I remembered nothing. Qin Zhengyan felt a bit down. As the saying goes, don't let desire break your will. But the master's figure is truly irresistible. The will of any normal man. It will be pierced through, right? Qin Zhengyan faintly felt. This shouldn't be my problem. It's a problem with the master. Among the women he has seen, if we talk about body shape and temperament, even if my wife is compared to my master, all must slightly downplay their ugliness. If he is under the charm of his master's intention, still able to retain sanity, then he is not a normal man, as for other women. For example, the Suzu in front of us. Qin Zhengyan lowered his head and examined it for a moment. A little woman lying on the table, calling out. Can't help but shake my head. Perhaps to others, Susu can be considered a character. But after being refined by my wife and master, Susu is like this. It is truly impossible to make him have any fluctuations. Hello, son-in-law. What you just did was a look. Liu Su looked up just in time to see Qin Zhengyan. That look of disdain quickly touched his own face. After confirming there was nothing strange on his face, unhappily, she questioned Qin Zhengyan. At that moment, Kyuje walked out of the kitchen with breakfast. Qin Zhengyun went up to greet his wife. It's been hard. However, it turned out to be empty. Kyuje quietly circled around him. Put the plate in your hand on the table. Sat down and started eating by themselves. Qin Zhengyun was taken aback. Xintian, wasn't it fine last night? Why did you suddenly get angry? He walked to Kyuje's side to sit down. Kyuje kicked out. Kicked the chair beside me away. Qin Zhengyun felt helpless, only able to sit far away from Kyujai. He cheerfully handed him a baozi. Wife, let's have a steamed bun. Kyuje picked up the bowl. Back to him. She didn't take his bun at all. The look of sulking, like a little child. Qin Zhengyun was frozen in place. He could only place the bun in Liu Su's bowl. Liu Su chuckled softly. Holding a bun in one hand, I put it in my mouth. One hand moved the stool from underneath, gathered by Qin Zhengyun's side. Whispered, "Son-in-law, what did you do last night?" Qin Zhengyun replied softly, "I didn't do anything." Liu Su smiled mischievously. "Is it because you haven't done anything? So the young lady is very angry." In the face of such slander, Qin Zhengyun quickly clarified, "How could I possibly do nothing? I had a fight with my wife." Seeing Liu Su's excited expression full of gossip, he poked Liu Su's forehead with his hand, said disgruntledly, "Why should I tell you these things?" Liu Su let out a sigh. "I originally wanted to help you with Miss Hong." "Forget it, I won't say anything." Bung. The two are shaking their ears. The river of autumn made a splash. Put down the bowl in your hand. Said coldly, "Oh, it's time to cultivate." Liu Su quickly said, "Liz, I only want half of the bun." The autumn river surface expressionlessly repeats, "You all should start your training." Uma sanqua. Liu Su took a sip, swallowed the remaining half of the bun. "Hurry up and enter the alchemy room." "Lady." Qin Zhengyun wanted to say something else. Stared coldly by the eyes of the autumn river. Suddenly I didn't dare to waste any more words. Entered the alchemy room. As the door to the alchemy room closed, the cold expression of the autumn river. This is when things finally calmed down. What replaced it was confusion. She doesn't know either. Why am I angry? Anyway, just thinking about it. Xia Qinglian loosened her clothes in front of Qin Zhengyun, flirting with charm, but Qin Zhengyun looked unable to resist. She felt a pang in her heart. "Xia Qinglian, you have no shame. You are her master. How could you do such a vulgar thing? And she is the husband of Qiu Zhaihe. How do you seduce someone else's husband?" I am the river of autumn. It's still Xia Qinglian. Whose fault am I really eating?" Qiu Zhaihe sat there dazed, not knowing how much time has passed. A sudden cry of alarm echoed through the alchemy room. "Su Su Su Su, what's wrong with you?" Autumn River felt a sudden shock. "Shu Dai Bat up. Oh no, forget about that thing." She entered the alchemy room. Qin Zhengyun and Liu Su sat facing each other. Liu Su's palm is pressed against Qin Zhengyun's lower abdomen. This is Liu Su using the dragon scale, the posture when assisting her cultivation. But at this moment, Liu Su's cheeks flushed red, trembling all over. It seems very off. Qin Zhengyun saw Kyuje come in. Hurriedly said, "Lady." Su Su didn't know what was going on. Suddenly fainted. "My whole body is burning hot." Kyujai, he placed his hand on Liu Su's wrist, frowned and said, "Dragon scale eyes are a natural ability. There are also drawbacks. Every time the broken mirror feels like walking through the gates of hell." "Wife, do you mean?" Susu's dragon scale eyes suddenly shattered. King Genian was astonished. He didn't know that having innate abilities came with such drawbacks. I didn't expect Liu Su's dragon scale glasses to. At this moment, the mirrors suddenly shattered. Susu helps you train every day. Her dragon scale eyes have also greatly improved. It was my oversight. Autumn River closes its eyes in contemplation. Shu Dai opened his eyes. There is only one way right now. He looked at Qin Zhengyun. He asked seriously, "Do you really see Susu as a sister, free of distractions?" Qin Zhengyun did not know at such a time. "Why do you still ask this, my lady?" Nodded quickly. Kyuji immediately said, "You place your hand on Susu's lower abdomen." Qin Zhengyun hesitated a bit. In the end, he still reached out his hand, gently placed on Susu's flat belly. The touch on the palm is soft, full of resilience. Can you imagine? Skin beneath the clothes. It is so tight and powerful. Qin Zhengyun suppressed a thought. Listen to the river of autumn. Channel your spiritual power. Entered Susu's body with her aura. A harmonious blend. Qin Zhengyun felt the surge in his heart. Even the closest relationships. It won't completely merge the spiritual powers of the two, because everyone's spiritual energy. More or less there are some differences, easily repelled from each other. Shuang becomes obsessed. However, Qin Zhengyun believed. A wife would never harm herself. Without hesitation, he poured his spiritual energy, entering Susu's spiritual field through the palm. As soon as her spiritual power entered, was struck by a surge of spiritual energy. This aura is lively and vibrant. At this moment, Susu's body, out of control spiritual energy, let go of distractions. With Susu, the water and milk blend together. The sound of the river of autumn whispers in my ear. Qin Zhengyun controls spiritual power, embracing Susu's spiritual power. The two streams of spiritual energy are surprisingly harmonious. As soon as we met, they have already merged together. You are in me. You are in me. Release your divine consciousness. Entering Susu's body. The river of autumn continues. Now Qin Zhengyun hesitated, entering Susu's body with spiritual consciousness. That means putting Susu up and down. Look through everything inside and out. This is not dual cultivation. Sheng Si Shuang Ziwa really did that. Susu is still a chef, but actually the whole body. It has already been marked with her imprint. This isn't really good, is it? You practice with Susu every day. Her dragon scale eyes assist you in your cultivation, also nourished by your spiritual power. Therefore, only your spiritual power, able to merge with her. Only you can help her through this ordeal now. The sound of the river in autumn echoed once more. It also carried a hint of urgency. At this moment, Susu's situation is still very critical. Qin Zhengyun no longer hesitated. Yi Yan tried to sense his own consciousness, penetrating into Susu's body. At this moment, her spiritual energy, already fused with Susu's spiritual power. Susu was completely unguarded against her spiritual awareness. She just let her in like that. In an instant, Qin Zhengyun felt darkness envelop him. Soon, a magnificent scenery appeared. Bingjai Yugu. Brilliant and colorful lights. This is still Qin Zhengyun, using spiritual awareness for the first time, entering someone else's body. Didn't expect that. Susu's inner landscape. It is indeed so beautiful and brilliant. Very soon, every inch of Susu's body, everything was clearly exposed before her consciousness. Every meridian, every piece of skin, even the most hidden places. She also saw through it all. Transfer your consciousness. Fusion with Susu's dragon scale eyes. The sound of the river of autumn echoed once again in my ears. Qin Zhengyan focused his mind. Observe carefully. Only the spiritual power in Susu's meridians was visible, like little streams. At this moment, these streams, they were all shrouded in layers of black mist. It is the dragon scale, eyes that Susu was born with. At this moment, the dragon scale eye is clearly out of control. That's why Susu became obsessed. Qin Zhengyan will use his divine awareness, dispersed into countless tiny tentacles. Catch that stream of black mist. Edrei, Qin Zhengyan, and Liu Su's bodies. At the same time, a tremor. The black mist resembled the vengeful spirit of a distillery, encountering the slender consciousness. Suddenly pounced on. The consciousness collided with the black mist. In an instant, they blended perfectly. At this moment, Qin Zhengyan and Liu Su, still united in soul, the moment between the two. Thoroughly examine the other person inside and out. Understanding is clear. Help Susu control the dragon scale eye. Let the spiritual energy within him return to calm. The sound of my wife's voice echoed in my ears. Qin Zhengyan had no time to think further. As per my wife's words, I will begin. Those black mists. He listens closely to Qin Zhengyan's words. As his consciousness calmed down, quickly became obedient, no longer urging the spiritual energy within Susu's meridians to rest, gradually gathering in one place, transformed into a light blue eyeball. Look towards Qin Zhengyan's consciousness. Blink twice. It seems to be laughing. All right. Still not pulled out. The lady let out a cold hum. Qin Zhengyan quickly focused his divine sense and spiritual power, extracted from Susu's body. He opened his eyes. Suddenly, Susu's body went limp. The little head has already rested on his chest. Qin Zhengyan suddenly felt. A chill surged beside me. He stiffly raised his head to look at Kyati River. Wife, you made me do this. The river of autumn does not look at him. He picked up Liu Su. Walk into the adjacent bedroom. Put Liu Su on the bed. Took the cloth again, gently wiping the beads of sweat from Liu Su's forehead. Qin Zhengyan stood behind him, feeling inexplicably guilty. That operation just now. And Susu's consciousness. The spiritual power and the soul have merged together. This level of intimacy. Compared to dual cultivation, it is equally impressive. Now he feels a bit at a loss. I don't know how to face Liu Su. I don't know what to do. How to face my wife? Qiuzhi wiped the sweat off Liu Su. Cover him with the blanket. Turning to Qin Zheng, he said, "Come out with me." Qin Zhengyan let out a grunt, following closely behind the wife with his head down. The two of them left the bedroom. Autumn River closed the door. This is what Qin Zheng said. You must not leave Susu's side easily in the future. You and his dragon-scaled eye have become one. Each time Linglinian breaks the mirror to transcend the tribulation. They all need your help to get through. If facing an enemy, you team up with Susu. Your consciousness merges with his dragon-scale eyes. Can surpass an opponent with 2 levels higher cultivation than you. So powerful. Qin Zhengyan was astonished. This cultivation world has strict hierarchies. A higher level of cultivation makes a world of difference. Challenge beyond the level. Only those with exceptional spiritual roots can accomplish that. Ordinary students shouldn't even think about it. I never expected to team up with Liu Su, surprisingly able to contend with an opponent 2 levels higher. He suddenly remembered another thing. Hurriedly asked, "Wife, that being said, will Susu and I never be apart in the future?" The autumn river coldly looked at him. "I am so happy." Qin Zhengyan was taken aback. Hurriedly said, "My lady, please don't misunderstand. I mean, we fly together as a pair. How can I carry such a burden like Su Su?" Kyujif looked at him. That cold fur felt like ice melting. The fur gradually became softer. "Don't turn away. Who wants to share a life and fly together with you?" After speaking, he walked into the bedroom, gave him a glare. "I want to wash Liu Su. Do not come in." Qin Zhengyan stood alone outside. "Everything that just happened feels like a dream." He just inexplicably. "The merging of spirit and flesh with a woman other than my wife. And it was right in front of the lady. Even this is still directed by the lady herself. This is so strange. How come it feels like the feeling of being forced to cheat by my wife? Inside Su Su, that pure and beautiful scenery, occasionally surfacing in my mind. It turns out Su Su is really a chef. On ordinary days, watching her dance freely and boldly, I never expected to find myself in the land of Gulen, guarding oneself like jade. She's indeed a good woman. Sorry, but I can't assist with that. She is my good sister." Qin Zhengyan has made up his mind. "If what you say is true, my lady, in the future, Su Su wants to always be with her." So she treated Su Su as her younger sister. She and her wife brought along a younger sister, a family of 3. Then we can coexist peacefully. In the bedroom, Liu Su slowly opened her eyes. The autumn river gently caressed her hair, softly asked, "Liu Su, are you feeling better?" Liu Su's little mouth moved apart. "Why Whack Dao?" Weird twists and turns. That guy is too thin. I don't like it that thin." Qiu Zhai, he coldly looked at her. "It seems like everything is fine now." After saying that, he stood up to leave. Liu Su suddenly jumped up, hug her from behind. "Wes, I was wrong. Don't blame me, okay? I, I don't like that guy at all. I only like you. I want to be with you for a lifetime." Kyuje was amused by her, holding Liu Su's little hand, speaking softly. "Your temperament, destined not to pursue the great path. When you grow up, having someone you like, it's only natural to get married. How can you always follow me?" Liu Su embraced her. The body twisted slightly. "In the future, I have to stay with that guy. You are her spouse. I will naturally follow you all the way." Her lively eyes glanced over. Suddenly, with a cheerful smile, he said, "Miss, you mentioned the Xuanbing Lihuo Palace. Makes it impossible for you to get pregnant. How about it? I will have one for you." Kyujik pried open her hand. Turning away, I coldly said, "Wait until my cultivation reaches the golden core. You can easily control the icy fire within your body. At that time, one could get pregnant and give birth. Oh dear, someone is anxious. I won't say who it is." Liu Su smiled brightly at Kyujai, he, with a smug expression on their face. Kyujai finally realized. This little hoof is deliberately teasing her. If it were in the past, I will definitely not be fooled. But now, hearing another woman, I can't believe they want to have a child with Qin Zhengyan. She immediately became anxious. What's wrong with me? Oh dear, I thought our young lady, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. Born cold and heartless. I didn't expect that. The iceberg is melting so quickly. Quack, quack, quack. Liu Su was proudly calling out there. Then it was taken by the river of autumn. Pressed down on the bed, they started slapping their buttocks. "Miss, I was wrong. It's wrong. I won't dare again." The colorful calls echoed from the bedroom. Even with the soundproof barrier, it can still be heard. Qin Zhenyan was left speechless, staring in shock. Is Susu feeling better so soon? Long Lingyin truly has exceptional talents. Do not judge by common sense. Just now, what are Nyanzi and Suzu doing? Why does it make this sound? Waited for a long time. The sound of clapping finally disappeared. Liu Su no longer called out. After a moment, two women walked out. The autumn river god's expression was cold. Leave a sentence for you to continue your cultivation. Just walk back to the bedroom. With a loud puff, close the door. Qin Zhenyan looked at Liu Su. She was tearing things apart in a chaotic manner. Cheeks flushed. It seems as if they have just experienced something indescribable. Qin Zhenyan asked, Susu, are you okay? Liu Su raised her hand to smooth her messy hair, gave her a glance. Do you really want something to happen to me? Qin Zhenyan smiled. It seems that everything is really fine now. Hello, Liu Su said angrily. Why are you so heartless? Just like a young lady. Truly a couple worth their salt. Qin Zhenyan saw Liu Su regain her lively and energetic spirit. Then let go of your worries. Serious and authentic. Susu, before cultivation, I want to talk to you. Liu Su saw her serious expression, no longer noisy. She followed her into the alchemy room and sat down. Qin Zhenyan asked, Susu, do you still have family? Liu Su wearily looked her up and down, arms crossed over the chest. What do you want to do? I won't owe anything. Qin Zhenyan shook his head and smiled. Where are you going? My wife has already told me. Every time you undergo a tribulation, with the dragon scale, eyes in the future, all need my assistance. I can't easily leave you. Since we have to live together forever, our relationship needs to be clarified. Otherwise, both you and I will feel awkward. It also puts my wife in a difficult position. Liu Su also got caught up in the fun. Wen Dao, so what do you want to do? Qin Zhenyan said, I want to pledge brotherhood and sisterhood with you. From now on, we can live together like a family. You are my sister. He is your sister-in-law. We had no awkwardness regarding our identities. Since we are to become sworn siblings, you should naturally inform your family, if you think it's necessary. You may also invite your family to join us for a conversation. Hold a formal brotherhood banquet. Liu Su carefully looked at Qin Zhenyan. Suddenly I burst into laughter. You're such a cheapskate and weakling. But they are indeed reliable in their actions. The young lady didn't marry the wrong person, Qin Zhenyan said. Then you agreed. Liu Su let out a sound of annoyance. Who wants to be your sister? I want to be the younger sister of the lady. You're just my brother-in-law at most. I won't call you that. It sounds disgusting. Liu Su held tightly with both hands. The shoulder trembled slightly. Qin Zhenyan was speechless. Aren't both your brother-in-law and older brother your elders? What is the difference? Liu Su does not hold a grudge. He doesn't rush to ask. After all, he is also the brother of Zhai He's sister. As long as three people can have a normal relationship, that will do. At present, Qin Zhenyan and Liu Su continue their training. 1 hour later, click, a fragmented face before Qin Zhenyan. Illusory words suddenly appeared before his eyes. Cultivation level increased to 7. Cultivation. Refining Kai to the 7th layer. 8. 4,000. Qin Zhenyan is righteous. When Su Su helped him with his cultivation, absorbing a fragment can increase by 5 points. Now suddenly there are 2 more points. Attract a fragment. Can actually improve by 7 points. Zy wanted to come to Susu's dragon scale, eye-broken mirror, and after merging with Susu, the benefits brought. Just don't know. Joining forces with Susu to fight against the enemy. What would the situation be like? Why? What are you reminiscing about? Liu Su's dissatisfied voice sounded. Qin Zhengyun was taken aback. Now I understand what he means. Just now, when the two were cultivating the spiritual power of the two, Shenji, soul, they automatically merged into one again. Both of them have a complete view of each other inside and out. Liu Su, though lively and uninhibited, but faced with this situation, there are also some changes in my heart. Seeing Qin Zhengyun lost in thought of him, still savoring my own body. Qin Zhengyun quickly explained, Su, you misunderstood. I am thinking about others. It has nothing to do with you. Liu Su widened his eyes. Goodness, just saw through everything I was looking at. Now I start thinking about others. What are you talking about? Pan, we continue to cultivate. Who wants to cultivate with you? HMPH. 5 watch periods later. Sometimes today's sixth piece of spiritual marrow is being refined. Cultivation level +7. Cultivation, refining Kai to the 7th layer, 43, 4000. Qin Zhengyun opened his eyes. To Liu Su Dao. Su, thank you for your hard work. He also didn't know what to say. After all, in the past 6 hours. He looked at the young girl thoroughly again and again. Liu Su snorted, pouting, with a face full of grievance. Qin Zhengyun comforted. Su, I saw you. You also saw me. We are even now. You don't need to be upset. Liu Su jumped up after finishing her combing. Bastard. Who wants to see you? Eating. The sound of the river of autumn came from outside. Liu Su hummed softly. Step out boldly. Qin Zhengyun also went out. Smiled and said, Wan, what dish are we having today? Qiuji ignored him. Sit down and eat in silence. Liu Su smiled slyly. He made a funny face at him. Started to eat with a grunt. Qin Zhengyun smiled wryly. Now it's good. Unexplainable. I offended both women in the house. After dinner is alchemy time. It is still Liu Su making a key for Qin Zhengyun. Qin Zhengyun made an agreement with the shopkeeper Dan Fu Yuo. 20 units are due for delivery in 2 months. Continuing with the soul rejuvenation pill and the shattered jade fury pill. The daily alchemy cannot be delayed. Unbeknownst to them, Qin Zhengyun and Liu Suling were connected by a bond of flesh. Improve alchemy efficiency. Tonight's alchemy went very smoothly. In just 2 hours, a 3rd-grade elixir was refined. Previously, Qin Zhengyun had already refined a total of 5 rejuvenating soul pills and 5 shattered jade fury pills. I only used a fury pill during the battle with Changchenzi. There are still 9 elixirs left. The remaining work was originally supposed to take about a month to complete. Now the efficiency has improved. Delivery can be made within a month. At this moment, the alchemy is complete. Today, Liu Su is also tired. Soon fell asleep. Qin Zhengyun walked into the bedroom. Qiuji was sitting on the bed with his eyes closed. He walked to the bedside, reaching out to embrace his wife. The river of autumn opens its eyes. She looked at him coldly. Let's practice. Qin Zhengyun's hand paused in mid-air. Nod awkwardly. It seems that my wife is still angry. After the 300 plays. Qin Zhengyun saw unexpected illusory characters before him. The couple's relationship has deepened. Marital feelings. 61,100. Stages of marital relationship. The first bloom of love. A Tanny love story. Jaya Chen. 5. This time you have earned cultivation points. 7. Qin Zhengyan looked at the illusory text in surprise. His relationship with his wife surprisingly improved again. Isn't my wife angry? Watching the description of the couple's emotional phase. The first stirrings of love. The taste of vinegar lingers on. Is it possible? My wife is not angry because she hates me. No, but it's because you care about me more. So, feeling jealous. However, whose jealousy is this? Su ha? Qin Zhengyan felt delighted in his heart. Looking at the autumn river that turned its back to me. Lean closer. She reached out, trying to hug him from behind. Just like the time the two of them have spent together, as I have gotten used to it. After every practice session, Qin Zhengyan would always hug him from behind. And he wouldn't struggle either. It may even be gentle, leaning in Qin Zhengyan's embrace. Since the couple's relationship now, it has already improved significantly again. Such intimate actions. Nature has become more unobstructed. Just Qin Zhengyan's hand just reached out, opened by the river of autumn. Wife, Qin Zhengyan said, that's right. In my heart, I feel confused. The lady already has feelings for me. Why have you become indifferent today? I merged with Su Ling Yuo. It's to save Su. And this was suggested by the lady. At that time, she was also directing from the side. In theory, even if my wife is picky about food. But it shouldn't be like this. Qin Zhengyan was puzzled. The river of autumn is equally perplexed. He witnessed it with his own eyes during the day. Qin Zhengyan and Liu Su merged into one. There is naturally a bit of sadness in my heart. But after all, it's a matter of urgency. Moreover, Liu Su is the sister he grew up with. It's actually not that hard to accept. He is so angry. Except for Qin Zhengyan and Su. There is one more thing. In the autumn river of her mind, reappearing, Xia Qinglian stood before Qin Zhengyan, the scene of joyful anticipation. He bit his lip. An uncontrollable annoyance surged within her. He turned over comfortably, coldly. Is the news ready?